Your Excellencies, kindly rise for the head of state. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the ECOWAS anthem. Please take your seat. Your Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Head of State and Government and President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Your Excellencies, members of ECOWAS Authority of Head of State and Government. Your Excellency Kashim Shettima Mustafa, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, representing His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and host of this summit. Your Excellency, Dr. Omar Aliou Touré, President of the ECOWAS Commission. Your Excellency, Monsieur Leonardo Santos Simao, Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General, Head of the UN Office of West Africa and Sahel, representing by Dr. James Adji. Your Excellency, Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, Commissioner Political Affairs, Peace and Security, representing His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission. Your Excellency Dr. Mohamed Ibn Shambas, Chairperson, ECOWAS Trade Liberalization, Shem Task Force, and former President of the ECOWAS Commission. Your Excellency Ambassador Baba Kamara, ECOWAS Special Envoy on Counterterrorism. Your Excellency Sidi Ould Tah, President, African Development Bank, represented by Director General Dr. Abdul Kamara. Your Excellency Abdoulaye Diop, President of the UEMOA Commission. Your Excellency Jean-Claude Cassibrou, Governor of BCAO. Your Excellency Serge Ekwe, President of BOAD. Honorable Ministers and members of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers. Your Excellency Alhaji Moussa Tiboté Kaba, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Sierra Leone and Chair of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers. Honorable Shekou Fantamadi Bangoura, Honorable Minister of Finance of the Republic of Sierra Leone, distinguished head of ECOWAS institution. Your Excellency, Madame Damtien Chenchibija, Vice President ECOWAS Commission, and honorable commissioners of the ECOWAS Commission. Excellencies, member of Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, staff of community institution, ladies and gentlemen, member of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to welcome you at this 68th ordinary session of the Authority of the Head of State at the ECOWAS level. The opening ceremony of this session will follow this program. First of all, nous aurons dans un instant le mot de bienvenue de son Excellence, Monsieur le Vice-président de la République fédérale du Nigeria. Ce sera suivi de l'allocution de son Excellence, le Président de la Commission de la CEDEAO. Viendra ensuite le discours officiel d'ouverture des travaux de la 68e session ordinaire de la Conférence des chefs d'État et de gouvernement par son Excellence le Président Julius Maada Bio, Président de la Conférence des chefs d'État et de gouvernement de la CEDEAO et Président de la République de Sierra Leone. Immédiatement après le discours officiel d'ouverture de la session suivront les interventions des invités spéciaux, notamment l'intervention de son Excellence Dr Leonardo Santos Simao, représenté ici par Dr James Adji. Nous aurons ensuite l'intervention de l'ambassadeur Bankole Adeoye, commissaire aux affaires politiques, à la paix et à la sécurité, représentant son Excellence Mahmoud Ali Youssouf, président de la Commission de l'Union africaine. La cérémonie d'ouverture sera suivie des discussions à huis clos entre les chefs d'État et les représentants des États membres. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, ainsi se présente le programme de la cérémonie d'ouverture de la 68e session ordinaire de la Conférence des chefs d'État et de gouvernement de la CEDEAO. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now it's my honor to respectfully invite to your applause His Excellency Kashim Shettima Mustafa, DCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for the welcome remarks on behalf of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Your Excellency Julius Maada Bio, Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government and President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Heads of State and Governments of ECOWAS member states, Council of Ministers of ECOWAS, His Excellency Dr. Omar Aliu Toure, President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, representing Chairman of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Dr. Leonardo Santos Simao, Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel. Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, Chairperson of ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme Task Force. Permanent representatives of ECOWAS member states, representatives of international organizations present here, members of the diplomatic corps, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Excellencies, we do not share geography, we share it by design, by history, and by the enduring logic of kinship. West Africa is not a random assemblage of borders drawn by chance. It is a family bound by memory, culture, struggle, and aspiration. Like all families, we disagree. We contest ideas, and we test one another's patience. But disagreement does not erase belonging. Civil rivalry does not annul shared blood. This is the position of Nigeria. And it is the abiding conviction of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose actions have consistently signaled that our unity is not transactional, but foundational. We remain persuaded that fraternity, not force, must define the future of our community. This session could not have come at a more consequential moment. We have, in recent times, allowed our differences to shake the very foundations of our union. Yet history reminds us that ECOWAS can only fulfill the purpose of its creation when every member state upholds the values of fairness, justice, and equality within its domestic affairs. A community is only as strong as the trust its members repose in one another. We are most vulnerable not when challenged from outside, but when weakened from within. Time and again, we have demonstrated that we are not threats to one another. Our shared challenge, therefore, is to ensure that internal divisions do not erode the collective strength we have built over decades. Excellencies, the external threats confronting West Africa today demand nothing less than a united front. Terrorism, violent extremism, unconstitutional changes of government, transnational organized crime, arms proliferation, cyber insecurity, climate shocks, food insecurity, and irregular migration recognize no borders. No single member state, regardless of size or strength, can achieve enduring stability in isolation. Our security, prosperity, and resilience are indivisible. We must sit at the same table, speak with one voice, and act with shared resolve. Nigeria is here to reassure this authority of her proven fidelity to the ideals of our community and her unwavering commitment to collective action in defense of our common future. Permit me finally to welcome all heads of state and government and to thank every member state for its contributions towards restoring order, stability, and confidence in our region. Your efforts reaffirm our shared geography is not a curse, but an opportunity to build a community that serves our collective good and protects the dignity of our peoples. May this session strengthen our bonds, renew our trust, and reposition ECOWAS as a community guided by solidarity, justice, and shared destiny. I thank you.
Thank you, Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. À la suite de son Excellence, Sénateur Kashim Shettima, Vice-président de la République fédérale du Nigeria, je voudrais respectueusement inviter ici son Excellence, Dr Omar Aliou Touré, président de la commission de la CEDEAO, pour son allocution sous vos ovations, s'il vous plaît.
Your Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, our host, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ably represented by His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency, the Chair of AU Commission, ably represented, Your Excellency, the Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, UNOWAS, ably represented, The Excellency, the Chairperson of the ECOWAS Task Force on Trade Liberalization, Excellency, the Special Envoy on Counterterrorism of ECOWAS, Excellencies, the Vice President of ECOWAS Commission and heads of ECOWAS institutions, commissioners, staff of ECOWAS institution, honorable commissioners, members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome Your Excellencies to the 68th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. On behalf of the management and staff of ECOWAS institutions, and indeed the citizens of ECOWAS, I would like to thank our leaders for their strong and enviable commitment to our community. The strength of ECOWAS is in its convening power. For 5 decades, the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government meet consistently, at least twice annually in ordinary sessions, to deliberate and take decisions on matters affecting the integration, peace, and development of our community. Behind closed doors and in public, the leaders engage vigorously with issues confronting our community with wisdom, foresight, and respect. We thank Your Excellency for staying true to the ideals of the founding fathers of our community. Let me commend our dear Chair of Authority, His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, for sustaining this legacy, especially at this difficult time in the evolution of our region. The unwavering commitment of the Chair and attention to community matters are highly commendable. We thank Your Excellency and your able team, led by His Excellency Musa Timothy Kaba, your Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Chair of both Council of Ministers and Mediation and Security Council at ministerial level. Your Excellencies, please allow me at this juncture to also recognize our partners for their consistency in supporting the agenda of the community. Annually, we sign various financial and technical assistance that have helped to advance the course of our integration. On behalf of the community, we say thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, events of the last and President Alassane Ouattara, as the Commanders-in-Chief of and President Alassane Ouattara, as the Commanders-in-Chief of their armed forces, led their Republican armed forces to join the Republican armed forces of Benin to thwart the attempted coup. May I invite Your Excellencies to recognize this feat with your applause. Excellencies, beside the usual institutional memoranda relating to the community work program, budget and performance, the authority will also be making pronouncements on the different issues affecting our community as part of the ongoing consultations on the future of our community. The attainment of ECOWAS Vision 2050 is today impacted by changes in the global landscape and dynamics within the sub-region. The challenge to multilateralism, the rise of multipolarity, and the pressure on African countries to make choices about partnerships, new technologies, and the entrenchment of terrorism and violent extremism in the Sahel, among others, have profound effects on our ability to attain the 2050 vision objectives. Your pronouncement on the future will be about the revitalization of our integration process. Excellencies, we are reinvigorating our economic integration objectives by moving forward with the operationalization of the ECOWAS Business Council. His Excellency Alhaji Aliko Dangote has gracefully accepted our invitation to serve as the pioneer chairperson of the ECOWAS Business Council. giving his vast experience in doing business within our community and across Africa. Through the Council, we hope to get the private sector actors to help with mobilizing regional capital and developing the comparative advantage of our member states. Intra-regional investment is a key driver of trade in our community. We must therefore give preference to our regional private sector actors, support and encourage them. The ECOWAS Business Council will facilitate dialogue and partnership between the private sector and governments with the facilitation of ECOWAS institutions. Excellencies, already we have seen the orientation from our member states. This year alone, a number of economic investment fora have been organized, such as the Forum Senegal Invest, the West African Economic Summit in Nigeria, the Invest in District Savane Forum in Côte d'Ivoire, among others. The chair of authority has also directed the Commission to work on organizing a West African Economic Investment Summit. Hopefully, in the nearest future, we will be having our own Davos Summit-like platforms for our community, where regional economic investment will be coordinated and progress regularly monitored. Excellencies, the future is bright for our sub-region, despite today's challenges. We need all hands on deck to make our integration work, to secure our region, and promote prosperity for all. I thank you for your kind attention.
Merci, Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la Commission de la CEDEAO. Excellencies, ECOWAS Head of State and Government, ladies and gentlemen, to open this 68th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Authority of Head of State and Government, it's now my honor to respectfully invite to your applause His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Head of State and Government and President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, for his official opening statement.
Your Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the Vice President, Your Excellency Dr. Umar Aliyu Toure, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union, ably represented also, Your Excellency Dr. Leonardo Santana for West Africa and the Sahel, Excellencies, colleagues, heads of state and government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today we meet at a moment when the past 50 years of regional history converge with the demand of our time. This 68th ordinary session is a defining moment for ECOWAS, a turning point for the future of over 400 million West Africans. 50 years ago, our founding fathers imagined a community anchored in solidarity, cooperation, and collective progress. As we mark this golden jubilee, we are called to renew that vision with clarity, courage, and above all, unity. I wish to express my profound appreciation at this juncture to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his government, and the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for hosting us with warmth and for Nigeria's enduring leadership within our region. I also recognize their excellencies, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, and Dr. Leonardo Santos Simao for their steadfast partnership and shared commitment to peace and stability in West Africa and the Sahel. Our community's 50th anniversary is not only a celebration of our journey, it is also a tribute to the resilience of our citizens, the traders who built regional commerce, the farmers who fed nations through hardship, the women who held community together, and the young people whose courage and creativity continue to define our future. I assumed the chairmanship of the ECOWAS Authority with humility and determination, committed to advancing an ECOWAS that protects the dignity, security, and prosperity of all its citizens. This session is therefore an opportunity to take stock of where we are, confront the realities before us, and chart a future for the next 50 years, a future worthy of hope of our people. West Africa faces some of the most complex and evolving threats in its history. Terrorism, violent extremism, organized crime, and communal conflicts continue to destabilize communities and undermine development. The situation in the Sahel remains particularly grave. Instability in one nation is instability for all. No border can insulate us from violence or fragmentation. The courage of our defense and security forces deserve our utmost admiration. Yet, terrorist networks continue to exploit fragility and attempt to expand their influence. Our response must therefore be united and uncompromising. Security is not only a military obligation, it is a human imperative, essential for protecting families, livelihoods, and the dignity of our citizens. We must strengthen collective action, integrated intelligence systems, coordinated border operations, and the operationalization of ECOWAS standby force for counterterrorism. Our ministers of finance and defense are advancing modalities for sustainable financing and preparing to raise a 1,650 personnel counterterrorism brigade by the end of 2026. But we must also pair security with governance, education, job creation, and community resilience. It is only through such holistic approaches that we can dismantle extremism at its roots. The architects of ECOWAS understood that democracy is inseparable from peace, justice, and development. Today, that democratic order is being tested. The resurgence of unconstitutional changes of government threaten our regional stability, undermines our citizens' rights, and weakens our collective future. The instability in Guinea-Bissau and the attempted coup d'etat in Benin remind us that democracy requires constant vigilance and principled action. On behalf of this authority, I strongly condemn the unconstitutional change of government in Guinea-Bissau and the attempt to subvert the constitutional order in Benin. I commend the rapid mobilization of ECOWAS troops and air assets, taking the lead to safeguard constitutional order in Benin. This unified regional response reaffirms an essential principle. ECOWAS does not and will not compromise on democratic governance. I express solidarity with the people for their steadfast defense of constitutional order. To our member states in transition, ECOWAS remains committed to supporting credible, inclusive, and time-bound pathways back to constitutional rule. Our citizens deserve legitimate leadership and accountable governance. We must uphold the ECOWAS protocol and digital arteries that bind our nations and communities together. Strengthening strategic cross-border infrastructure, including railways, road networks, energy grids, such as the West African Power Pool, telecommunication systems, and key transport corridors, is essential to facilitating the seamless movement of people, goods, and services. These investments, though ambitious, are catalytic. They will unlock new economic opportunities, connect isolated communities, and raise living standards across our region. As Africa moves boldly towards continental integration, our role within the AFCFTA must become more strategic. West Africa must be a driver, not a passenger, in Africa's economic renaissance. And at the center of this transformation must be the youth of our region, innovative, resilient, and resourceful. They are not only participants in our development journey, they are the authors of the ECOWAS story for the next 50 years. Be more than a long-term aspiration. It must translate into real and measurable benefits for our citizens. It is in this spirit that I highlight a transformative development reflecting our renewed commitment to making mobility, beginning 1 January 2026, our community will implement a landmark measure to reduce the cost of air travel across West Africa. Under this agreement, member states will abolish air transport taxes and reduce passenger and security charges by 25%. This is a bold affirmation of our collective resolve to ease the movement of our people, deepen regional trade, stimulate tourism, and strengthen the social and economic ties that define our community. For far too long, the high cost of air travel holds and build resilient communities. Women and youth who carry both the burden and hope of our region must remain central to our humanitarian and climate strategies. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, strong regional institutions are the backbone of our collective aspirations. Without effective institutions, security weakens, democracy falters, and economic integration stalls. Efficiency, transparency, accountability, and measurable impacts across all ECOWAS institutions. Financial sustainability is essential of our community. Our unity is not optional. It is our greatest asset. History teaches that when ECOWAS acts together, we act effectively. At this crossroads, our citizens look to us for principled leadership, clarity of purpose, and the courage to shape the next 50 years of regional progress. Let us therefore approach the 68th ordinary session with renewed conviction And thank you all.
Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, à l'instant, c'était le discours d'ouverture officielle de la 68e session ordinaire de la Conférence des chefs d'État et de gouvernement de la CEDEAO, prononcé par son président, son Excellence le Président Julius Maada Bio de la République de Sierra Leone. À présent, l'étape des messages des invités spéciaux. Je voudrais, avec votre permission, inviter Dr James Adji, chef de la cellule de liaison de l'UNOAS auprès de la CEDEAO, pour délivrer le message de son Excellence, Dr Leonardo Santos Simao, représentant spécial du secrétaire général des Nations Unies pour l'Afrique de l'Ouest et le Sahel, UNOAS.
Your Excellency and President of the Republic, all protocols duly observed. Special Representative Leonardo Simao was in Abuja earlier in the week. He participated in the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level, and the plan was for him to stay through for this. He had to leave Abuja prematurely. He therefore directed us to deliver the message on his behalf. And with your permission, since protocols have been observed, kindly allow me to go straight on to the body of the message. And I quote, "It is an honor to participate in this 68th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Government, and to convey warm greetings from the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres. Some of the key developments in the sub-region since June were the successful conduct of the presidential election in Côte d'Ivoire on 25th October. I wish to congratulate President Alassane Dramane Ouattara for his re-election as President of Côte d'Ivoire. During this period, Guinea-Bissau also held peaceful presidential and legislative elections on 23rd November. However, this process was not completed due to the military coup on 26 November, to which you responded promptly by convening an extraordinary session on the situation in Guinea-Bissau. 1 week ago, we witnessed a new attempt to overthrow a democracy was thwarted. The United Nations strongly condemns this attempt to seize power by force, which constitutes a serious threat in the region and a violation of fundamental principles of the Constitution and the rule of law. The United Nations commends the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State for its leadership in efforts to ensure peace, stability, and development in member states, particularly strengthening of democracy. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, insecurity remains a major challenge for the peace and security of the sub-region. Terrorist attacks in the region continue to cause a growing number of victims using increasingly sophisticated means. We need to anchor electoral processes and all political processes on consensus and inclusiveness, with the full participation of women, youth, and all marginalized groups. This can significantly contribute to prevent conflicts and address some of the peace and conflict and insecurity in the sub-region. These efforts could include the provision of basic social needs, health, education, and infrastructure, effective and accountable justice and security services, through governance and the rule of law, to provide an environment for citizens and businesses to thrive. I also wish to stress the need to adopt a holistic approach in tackling terrorism by combining kinetic and non-kinetic approaches, enhancing cross-border and inter-regional cooperation, and acting against transnational and organized crime are crucial in this regard. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I reaffirm UNOWAS's commitment in particular, and that of the United Nations in general, to continue working closely with ECOWAS to strengthen our partnership and jointly contribute to achieving the aspirations of the peoples of the sub-region for peace, security, and development. I wish you a fruitful deliberation, and I thank you for your kind attention. End of quote. Thank you.
Dr. James Aji. After the statement of the UNOAS, I would respectfully like to invite Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, son of the African Union Commission, for his statement.
Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. Chair of the Authority. Of overriding importance is that the African Union commends ECOWAS for its firm and principled posture in the defense of constitutional democracy, electoral integrity, the rule of law, and regional security and development. ECOWAS has been consistent and has steadily demonstrated resolute leadership in responding decisively to terrorism, democratic regression, and unconstitutional changes of government in West Africa. Given the alarming rate in the resurgence of military takeovers in Africa, for example, 2 military coups in the past 2 months in Madagascar and Guinea-Bissau, Africa cannot afford further reversals of hard-won democratic gains. It is in this regard that the African Union strongly condemns the military coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau, which subverted the democratic process at a critical stage of the November 2025 presidential elections. This state of play is deeply regrettable and unacceptable to the African Union. Similarly, the attempted military intervention in the Republic of Benin